This ride right here is hot. Especially when that T-Rex came down. Like, ah! Makes your heart skip a beat.
This ride is awesome, man. I'm telling you. I was passed out. So excited. You gotta go in there. You gotta.
Few movie franchises have left a colossal footprint as Jurassic Park.
What do they got in there? King Kong?
And just as the dinosaurs were brought to life on the big screen, Universal Studios brought them to life in their theme parks with Jurassic Park the Ride. But how did this groundbreaking attraction come to be? Let's dive into its history, starting with the man who made it all possible, Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg's relationship with Universal began long before Jurassic Park. As a teenager, he famously snuck onto the Universal Studios backlot, observing the filmmaking process and dreaming of a day he'd direct his own movies. By the 1970s, Spielberg had cemented his place in Hollywood with films like Jaws. His partnership with Universal blossomed, producing some of his most iconic films. In order to keep Spielberg with Universal and to help the then in-development Universal Studios Florida, Universal offered Spielberg a deal where he would earn 2% of park ticket revenue forever as a consulting fee. That would come out to roughly $50 million a year. By the late 1980s, Spielberg was looking for his next project. He started a conversation with the novelist Michael Crichton about a screenplay that would eventually become the television show ER. During this conversation, Spielberg would learn of another novel Crichton was writing about the cloning of dinosaurs called Jurassic Park. He was immediately interested. In 1990, Jurassic Park would officially be published, and a bidding war would begin between the different movie studios on who would get the film rights. Universal Pictures would end up winning the rights after Spielberg's influence, paying $1.5 million for the film rights and giving Crichton an additional $500,000 to write the first draft of the script.
Spared no expense.
In 1991, Spielberg would finish his film Hook and was looking to start on his next project. His plan was to create his passion project, Schindler's List. However, then MCA Universal president Sid Sheinberg would only greenlight Schindler's List if Spielberg created Jurassic Park first. Jurassic Park would start work immediately and cost Universal $63 million to produce. Releasing in June of 1993, the film became groundbreaking with its cutting-edge CGI and mix of practical effects to bring the dinosaurs to life. It became an instant classic and a box office juggernaut, grossing over $1 billion. Universal Studios now had a franchise on their hands. Even before Jurassic Park hit theaters, Universal's creative team, along with Spielberg, began envisioning how to translate the film's thrills into a theme park experience. Spielberg played an active role consulting on the attraction to ensure it captured the spirit of the film. Spielberg had previously consulted with Universal Creative on attractions based on Jaws and the E.T. Adventure at Universal's different theme parks. Landmark Entertainment Group, founded by Gary Goddard and Tony Christopher, would be brought on to develop the brand new attraction. They had previously developed the Adventures of Conan's stage show and the King Kong Encounter at Universal Studios Hollywood in 1983 and 1986, respectively, building a strong relationship with Universal. Gary Goddard started to think on how this attraction would be set up, and he remembered a scene from the original novel that didn't make it into the film. A scene where the protagonists are chased down a river by a T-Rex in a boat ride that was not yet open to the public, with the main characters escaping over a waterfall. Steven Spielberg would love this idea, and work began on the attraction officially in 1993. Goddard's group would create a detailed scale model to demonstrate the ride's layout as it was developed. The track and ride system would be manufactured by Vekoma, while the animatronics would be created by the Sarcos Robotics Company. The attraction would be built in Universal Studio Hollywood's lower lot and include more than a dozen audio animatronics, a 1,900-foot-long log flume, and an 85-foot drop at a 51 degree. The ride would officially open on June 21st, 1996, with Jeff Goldblum and other members of the original film's cast in attendance along with Steven Spielberg. However, Spielberg would request to be let off right before the 85-foot drop. Jurassic Park the Ride would become one of the most iconic theme park attractions almost immediately, placing itself in the top echelon of rides across the entire industry. As guests walk through the queue, they can watch videos of a tour guide and John Hammond, with Richard Attenborough reprising his role from the original films, talking about the dinosaurs and safety of the ride. Guests then board a large raft as the music swells and the narration by Richard Kiley begins.
The ever-flowing river. Come with us now to a time before man.
Fun fact, Richard Kiley is mentioned as the narrator for Jurassic Park in both the original novel and the original film.
The voice you're now hearing is Richard Kiley. We spared no expense.
The rafts travel through a now iconic gates and are greeted by a large Ultrasaurus. The raft then moves behind a waterfall and is immersed into Stegosaurus Springs, where the riders see an adult Stegosaurus and its young. Two compies are fighting over an empty popcorn box before the raft enters the Hadrosaur Cove, where a Hadrosaur pops up and sprays water at the riders. This throws the raft off course and they are turned into the Velociraptor pen. As guests round the corner, they see a smashed Jeep hanging over the wall. As the Jeep teeters on the edge, it falls into the water and splashes the guests as they pass by. As years passed, this effect would end up being removed after it not being so reliable as time went on. The boat is then brought into the Environmental Systems building up a large lift, as velociraptors attempt to attack the guests from above and the sides. The guests get their first look at a Tyrannosaurus Rex trying to get them from above. An announcement blares counting down to when the life support systems are going to fail. Right as the countdown is about to complete, a full-size T-Rex swings out from a waterfall and the raft plummets down an 85-foot drop into the water below. Meanwhile, Universal was working on their second park over in Florida, which would eventually become Islands of Adventure. What was originally started as a park based around famous cartoon characters like the Looney Tunes and DC Comics would evolve into the park we know today. Riding off the success of Jurassic Park the ride on the West Coast, it just made sense to bring it over to the East, but on a bigger scale. This time there would be an entire Jurassic Park themed land, based around if the guests have traveled to the real park created by John Hammond. It would include the Jurassic Park Discovery Center, the Triceratops encounter where guests could meet a real dinosaur up close, Camp Jurassic for those families, the Pterodon Flyers, and of course the Jurassic Park River Adventure, which would be this park's version of the Hollywood ride. The attraction, along with the rest of the park, would officially open on May 28, 1999. Other than some small differences, both attractions would offer guests the same experience on both coasts. Universal Studios Japan would get their own version of the ride in 2001, and Universal Studios Singapore in 2010. The Jurassic Park franchise would continue on with The Lost World in 1997, and Jurassic Park 3 in 2001.
Alan!
After the third film, the franchise would go on hiatus, and most thought it ended there. However, something survived. In 2015, Jurassic World would be released in theaters, earning over $1.6 billion at the box office, breathing brand new life into the franchise. This new film spawned a new trilogy with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in 2018 and Jurassic World Dominion in 2022. The last two films were much more financially successful than they were critically.
That is one big pile of shit.
On September 3rd, 2018, Jurassic Park the ride would officially close at Universal Studios Hollywood to make way for Jurassic World the ride. The refitted attraction would see a new opening scene with the tank of the Mosasaurus, the presence of Chris Pratt's Owen Grady character, and some impressive brand new animatronics of the Raptor Blue and the Indominus Rex added in 2021. I can't pass up the opportunity to also talk about the Jurassic World Adventure at Universal Studios Beijing. While it is not a raft ride and more of a traditional dark ride, it has some of the most impressive scenes ever put in any theme park attraction. This includes a ride vehicle actually being chased by the Indominus Rex and the end battle scene of the T-Rex versus the Indominus. With a brand new film, Jurassic World Rebirth, coming out later this year starring Scarlett Johansson, the franchise has continued to live on within pop culture. For nearly 3 decades, Jurassic Park the ride has thrilled audiences worldwide, blending the magic of movies with the excitement of a theme park attraction. It stands as a testament to Steven Spielberg's vision and Universal Studios' commitment to innovation. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the history of Jurassic Park the ride. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of theme park attractions. Let us know in the comments below any other attractions you would like to see us cover. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, life finds a way.
Oh, there it is.